Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to another Relationship Thursday.
Hey.
We're going to give y'all a second to tune in this evening.
Relationship Thursdays in the house.
Are you happy to be here, Ben?
I'm making it.
You making it?
Making it through.
Are you happy to be sitting next to me?
Now that I am.
You are?
Yeah, because our topic tonight is a good one. They always are. But this is one of the ways that I connect with you, so that makes it good. Yeah. I'm just tired, you know what I'm saying? Tired. So I was kind of like, I don't know.
I did kind of sort of have to push and pull and get you for this evening.
Well, you did. But you were successful. Yeah. You were successful.
You're here. We're here.
We are here. And we see y'all coming in the room. What's up, sis? I see you, Fine 29. I see my sis, Latisse.
What's up, Blair? What's up, Rita?
You might have sent me a message or something. I got to go on my messages and look. I ain't been keeping up. So if you did, I'll check it out. Please, as you come into the room, let us know where you're coming from, where you're viewing from, and share the video. I see Natasha coming in. I see Blair, and I see Julia. What's going on, Julia? Keep coming in. I see you, Bryant and Ashley, representing Cincinnati, Ohio. I have some family in Cincinnati, Ohio. So welcome. Rosalind, welcome. So guys, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is my amazing, awesome, fabulous, debonair, protector, confidant, provider, my boy, my best friend, Isaac.
Did you say your husband?
Oh, I don't know. He's my husband too.
You forgot that piece. That would be important.
Yeah, you're my husband too. That's
and this right here is the queen of this castle. My impeccable, my lovely, my incredible, my spectacular, my fantastic, my delectable, my sweetheart, my boo, my baby.
Oh, thank you, boo.
My lovely wife, Fiona.
Yes, and so we come each and every Thursday if you're joining us for the first time, and we come to talk about relationships, all things relationships. We are licensed therapists, we are relationship coaches, and we are married. We have 5 children, and we've been doing this thing since high school. And I love him to life, and he gets on my nerves at the same time. And that's a real relationship.
And you get on my nerves too. Let me find out you try to say that and then drop that thing on the beat.
I did. I tried to. I was like, I'm like, stop talking.
You tried to punctuate that thing.
All right, y'all. So tonight we're talking about how to stay connected as a couple during the holidays. For some of you, you're like, oh, of course. Like, who doesn't? You know, it's the warm and fuzzy time.
What's up, Bruce? Yeah.
You know, but I have to say that a lot of times people get caught up, and that's not happening. Much of what we're going to talk about tonight, you can transfer to any time, right? Can you turn the music down?
But you can't hear yourself?
I'm just saying.
Is that the issue? You can't hear yourself?
If y'all watch this, y'all know I'll be always telling him, like, you let that joint play for way too long.
It's my intro. It sets the mood.
Yeah, it's your intro. It goes a long time. So we're talking about how to stay connected as a couple during the holidays. Perhaps it's not just about staying connected. For some of us, it's about getting connected during the holidays. And so wherever you find yourself, it's all good. Sharice, I see you from Arlington, Virginia, and Devon, I see you representing Greensboro, North Carolina, Charlicia in Hampton, and our girl Shay in Cleveland, Yvonne Peters. Hey, sis, how are you? And Natasha's representing Little Rock, Arkansas. I just had to shout out some of those places. So again, we're talking about how to stay connected as a couple during the holidays. It's easy to get disconnected, all because we're trying to create an environment and create energy that is supposed to be about connection.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we're running around, checking off boxes, checking off to-do lists, trying to see, what we need to accomplish. As soon as, for real, Halloween is over. I'm just saying, as soon as that's over, then we get Thanksgiving going.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like a tidal wave of invitations and recitals and different things happening in the community and, things that have to happen and things that have to go down. And then you're trying to, make sure you engage and connect in more than likely with your family and with your boo. And so it's very easy in the midst of, all the things we have to go to and do to actually be like, dang, like, Where you at?
Man, that's real talk.
Where you at in all this? So we just have a couple of tips for you all this evening, as we're dead right up into the holiday season on how to stay connected or how to get connected as a couple during this holiday season.
So let me ask this question before we get started. I want y'all to give us some hearts or raise your hand, wave, or do whatever it is that you do. Let us know whether or not you're looking forward to this holiday season. Let us know. And then what particular are you looking forward to? What part of it are you looking forward to?
And look, Rita said a lot of times couples break up before the holiday.
That's true. That's real talk right there. So give us some hearts if you're looking forward to this time period, and then let us know why you're looking forward to this time period.
And Rita, can you drop another comment? What do you think that's about? I mean, when we was young, some of y'all youngins on here, but we ain't young no more, right? So most folks who are watching us are not, teenagers, right? But back in the day when you was in college, people broke up because they didn't want to buy no gift. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember them days? They ain't want to buy no gift. Like, I ain't trying to do all that, right? But what is it? What is it about the holidays that really has people, just being disconnected? I don't know. But here we go. This is where we are. We're in the season. People are having a hard time. A lot of times, we've talked about this before now. Ashley, I feel you. She says, I love being with family, and we want to create that for ourselves and our family. I'm all about that. So is he.
Yeah.
But we do it in different ways, and we get there in different ways. And sometimes I'm trying to bring family together and let's do this, and we're going to have this going on. And he's like, you're doing the most. And I kind of perceive that sometimes as not really trying to connect in, and I get irritated and get my feelings hurt.
Yeah, you do.
But at the same time, we've learned how to make room for one another and how to, tend to each other, because it's not just about how people spend the holidays. Everybody's different, but it's also about personalities. And we've talked about that as well. It's about being introverted and extroverted and, having certain ways that we flow. And so we got to recognize that stuff does not go away at Christmas. I want to shout out my sis Tanisha Wormley and her husband Quentin. She says, our son's first Christmas at home. Praises that we are all under one roof and not in the hospital. There you go. Their son has had some challenges, health challenges that he is attending to, and he is representing for, and he's doing what he's called to do. And y'all at home, so that's what's up. And then Krista said, Krista said, keep me in prayer. 4 years and been broke up 7 months. Starting over. New business and home. God bless you all. Krista, I'm giving you energy, sis. I'm giving you energy. Definitely will keep you in prayer. I'm going to write your name down, and we'll say a prayer for you. Been broken up for 7 months. You're starting over. New business, new home. All right, new life. But yeah, the holidays is a time for restoration, reflection. Ronald says time off of work, time on with the family. That's what's happening. We're shutting down for a week here right after the holidays so that we can center in and spend time with family. And so one of the things that we'll share with you this evening is that one way that you can make sure that you actually get the time you need with your partner, right? And that you're not having all of your time just taken by family, because it's lovely, right? But sometimes it can be quite a bit, and other things going on, is to block out white space. Block out white space. What does that mean, to block out white space? It means that you put big blocks of nothing on your calendar. If you keep a family calendar, if you have a personal calendar, it's an Outlook on Google, whatever, that you have. Picture that. A whole day where there's nothing. I can see some of y'all right now. Y'all like, that's cute, Iana. Can't nobody do that. Where does that happen? There's no way I can do that. But you can do it. It's just a matter of choice, and it's a matter of getting into a routine that doesn't always serve us. So block out the white space so that you all will say, you know what, we don't even have to figure out what we're going to do, but we're going to make sure that we hook up and we connect in, and we got some days on the calendar to do that. There have to be days where you are deliberately non-committal to anybody else other than your partner, that you make sure that you keep your space free and you all communicate to one another. What are those days going to be? Because you're going to be at my mama's house this day, and we got this over here, and at church we got this here. Where are you going to hook up and connect up with each other on purpose. So you have to do that by blocking out white space. And so my husband and I think we're pretty good with that, for real.
We are. We
don't do that just in the holidays. We do that all the time.
Mm-hmm. We are good about it. But a lot of people have challenges in this particular area because they wrestle with guilt, especially as it pertains to the children. And so some people think that this time of the year is just all about the children. And they think that it's only about the children. And so that's not the truth. And so if you have some guilty feelings around taking time for your spouse, for your partner, then that's an issue. It could be an issue in a relationship because, again, you need to nurture this if you expect it to grow. If you don't water your relationship, it won't grow. And during this time period right here, it's extremely stressful. Yeah. And so you have to be intentional about watering your relationship to ensure that it survives during this time period. We did have a comment over here on YouTube saying that some people break up during this time. And it's because of the stress. It's because sometimes they intentionally plan to do so. But again, you want to make sure that you're not putting all of your energy toward your children, toward your coworkers, toward your extended family, toward, whomever it else may be. You want to make sure that you're emphasizing the importance of your relationship and you're prioritizing it by making sure that you focus on each other. It's really important that you do that. And so, yes, we do block out white space and we do it on an ongoing basis. Yeah. I would say weekly, we're making sure that we spend time with each other by ourselves and we let the children know this is our time. This is our time. So they might
be in their feelings. They be in their
feelings. They might be like, "Ooh, that's disgusting." Why y'all
they be
kissing?
mad. Like, why do you?
Yeah, and then we got some
you go to the movies. I mean, how often you gonna do that? How often I gotta leave out the house and go for a walk?
But it's not even necessarily us just doing it. I mean, sometimes we can experience and block out the white space just by being in each other's presence.
Being in the house and being with each other.
Being in each other's presence. And so sometimes we create that white space simply with a hug, where we're actually encapsulating our relationship and I'm holding you and you're in my arms. But we'll have some children sometimes come and try to squeeze between us because they want that thing too. Now, we do give it to them on a regular basis. But again, this is for me and my boo right here. You need to back up. You need to back up. This is about
and he let them know too, y'all.
Yeah. He let them know. Get away. Leave me alone.
So again, schedule some nothing time. You have to do that. Oh my goodness, we're getting a lot of prayer requests this evening, and I'm loving that. Rita says that her boyfriend is in the hospital right now. I think you're saying he has sleep apnea. I'm not sure if he said he had a seizure or not. I'm not sure, but we definitely let's put that out there to pray for Rita Yvette's boyfriend. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on, in the holiday time. And so it can be an emotional time. It can be an emotional time because also we're trying to create, oftentimes many people are trying to create the warmth and connection that perhaps you got when you were younger, and you're trying to recreate it and it's not coming together the way you want because you got uncooperative people. You got an uncooperative partner who don't see it like you see it, or they ain't with it. Or maybe you got some uncooperative family and friends who are not with it. Or perhaps it's not that you got it like that. You didn't have that type of, the type of stuff we see on TV. Everybody's like playing the piano and singing fa la la. That ain't real. Now that doesn't mean.
I mean, it happens.
It does happen. No. So let me be clear. Yeah, I'm gonna say my people. We do. We sit around. My father is a piano player
and all of that.
He's a musician. He be playing Rudolph, and we all be singing. Our people probably be corny as a mug, right? But that's my family.
with a jazz type flair too.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is not real. It's not that. You cannot have that kind of connection. That kind of activity doesn't happen, but it doesn't mean that everything is easy peasy and everybody is high-fiving and everybody's having a great time and there are no feathers that get ruffled and no issues that come about. Expect that on some level, because when we come together during the holiday time, because it's whether it's your biological family or the family that you declare to be your family, you come together closer. You maybe spend a little more time, or somebody's not coming, whatever. Those things start to get, pricked up in us. Those issues, those relationships, those things, and you may not even be conscious of it. You got to deal with people you ain't really trying to deal with, whatever it is. So just know that that's going to happen, and you and your partner have to stay connected and have to get that white space going. Blocking out, again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how to stay connected as a couple during the holidays. You have to get nothing time on your calendar. So don't say, that's good. And then when you're done with this, between now and the new year, you don't even pick 1 or 2 days where there's nothing on your calendar. I do know that it seems ridiculously unrealistic, but I'm telling you, I'm a busy woman. This is a busy brother, and we do it. Okay. So even if it's half a day, pick it. Pick the day and block out some nothing time for the both of you. So that's point number one. Number two.
And again, if you have not shared this video yet, please go ahead and share. We know that somebody else that is not listening right now could possibly benefit from this because they may be in a broken relationship. They may be in a relationship that's hanging on by a thread, and this information may be able to help them out. Rita,
she said, I'm very corny, so I totally get it. Look, honey, I'm planning a holiday party, okay? And I'm got all the games. I'm pulling it all together, and we're going to, have everything nice and cornbally. And it's going to be so warm and fuzzy, and yay, I love it. So high five to you. she gets it.
So this leads us to our second point.
If you didn't have it, you would be like, oh, we're just sitting in here and we're not really connecting. If you didn't have the results or the fruit of the type of connecting that I try to create with our own family and with our extended family, and that happened day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you would want for something.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You would want to feel more connected and to be doing more of those kinds of things.
Yeah, so, you're right. And so again, this leads us to point number two. It's really a me thing. But point number two is that you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the moments, that you're being present for the moments. And so what do I mean by this? I think that during this time of the year, you can be so busy in the hustle and bustle, running from store to store, online shopping, making sure you're going to visit with relatives and, busy at work trying to close things out prior to the end of the year, that you're missing these small incremental moments that enable your relationship to grow. But not just your relationship to grow, you're also missing these moments that allow your family to also expand and grow too in terms of their connection. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the moments that in the windows of opportunity that you have present to really turn towards your partner and connect in. It's a blessing to be in a relationship, y'all. Mm-hmm. It really is a blessing to be booed up, to be bunned up, to have a bae. Yeah. It's a blessing. And so you don't want to take that thing for granted. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the moment. So as my wife just mentioned, some things do irritate me. Some things I don't want to deal with. I mean, naturally, I'm just, trying to chill, lay back and not necessarily be, I'm more of an introvert. And so I'm not trying to do, all of the glitz and glam that she might be trying to do. But again, I appreciate it when she does it. And it actually helps me to extend beyond my comfort zone. And so it's important that even during those time periods where I'm not necessarily enthused about the experience initially, that I pay attention and I recognize the effort that my wife is putting into creating the ambiance, the experience, the environment that actually makes our family feel like family.
That was good. That made me feel good just when you said that.
I mean, that's real talk right there.
Because people miss that a lot of times, and then the person is feeling some type of way because they don't feel recognized or they feel like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And this point right here, I'm actually looking at a candle over there that my wife had burning prior to us starting this live stream. And so when I smelled the scent when I walked in the house from going to the store, it was just a certain energy. It put me in a certain mental and emotional space, just smelling the scent from the burning candle. And so you can actually set the stage in your home, the atmosphere, whether it be through your cooking, whether it be through lighting candles, lighting incense, whether it be through playing a certain song. Yeah. You can set the stage, the ambiance in your home during this time of year by doing those things, by being intentional about doing those things. And again, it's those moments. It's those moments. How many of y'all, I want to see some hearts if y'all can remember specific memories from childhood during this time of year that actually give you warm and fuzzy feelings.
Oh, yeah. What are some of those memories?
What are some of those memories? Do y'all have those? If you have those memories, you don't have to share with y'all. If you have those memories, give some hearts. Give some hearts. I want to see some hearts.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And let me say this for all of my conscious people. Let me say that. What does that mean when I say conscious? You can interpret it any number of ways, but my husband and I have talked about the fact that early on in our relationship, particularly with young children, we actually did not do any kind of celebrating during the holiday season except for Kwanzaa. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We didn't do any of that, and we were intentional about that. I was more so following my husband's lead, but I was with him in the value of trying to lift up what's important to us. And we've done this live stream. We've talked about it at different times, just in terms of being people of African descent and having to have a journey in terms of our own personal understanding of Christianity, what it means to be a Black Christian versus not, Eurocentricity and all of that, right? So we've been through there, and we can talk to y'all about that on another time. But I remember during that time, I remember we weren't going over our families' houses. We weren't having people over except for Kwanzaa. I remember feeling disconnected.
And there was no holidays. I'm talking about 4th of July. I'm talking about
so it wasn't just
Christmas.
We wasn't doing 4th of July. We were like, our people wasn't free. You know what I'm saying? He was going hard. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing none of that stuff. And so, I started to struggle with that because I was like, I get it and I'm with it. Right. But I'm not saying, like, my family's coming together for the 4th, and you know what I'm saying? Like, people are connecting up and seeing each other, and I haven't seen folks in a while. And so we came to a point and where we are now, where we are very clear about our reference point and about what we believe and what is important to our family. But we know that we can still connect in and create the energy that we want. So I'm saying this to say that many folks, many of y'all, sometimes get caught up, and you're like, well, I'm not trying to do that, or this is all about commercialism and I ain't trying to be you. That's fine, but don't tap all the way out. What is it that you do want to do? What is it that you do want to create? What is it that you want to have in terms of your family connections and in terms of your legacy, your traditions, and your rituals? This is a time of year where ritual and tradition should be really, really coming forward. And if there's no one doing it and you're feeling it, that means you're called to do it. I do believe that. It means you're called to create the traditions and the rituals, and you may not be Big Mama. It just may be you, because that's what you're called to do. So don't lose sight of that because you get caught up in trying to juggle, being a person who's enlightened and woke, right? And trying to navigate in all of this. You know what I'm saying? All of this commercial, whatever. You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid, all right? You don't have to. But please, can you come to the table and sit down, right? Can you come in the room? You don't have to completely tap out. And I think that's a process that everybody has to come to on their own in terms of what that looks like. But tuning into the moments, that's what this encourages you to do. Right. And as
too woke.
You're too woke, man, too woke. And everybody, a lot of people go through that process. But again, you're on the way to a function or whatever, right? Or to, a family member's house. You're in the car with one another, you're in the car with one another, driving back. That's an opportunity to tune in. There are certain things that are happening, at certain functions, right? They're lighting a candle or you're doing whatever. Everybody's kind of, in the moment. Turn towards your partner. Yeah. Give them a look, right? Find the spaces to connect. That's really important. Again, it will not happen if you are not intentional. I do that with my boo. I be trying to catch his eye. I've tried. You understand? And those things stack up and they add up. It is the small things that keep couples connected, and right?
Cash in.
And
later on.
You cash in later on. You do. All right, guys, if you're just joining us again, we're talking about how to stay connected as a couple, not just during the holidays, but during the holidays and all the year round, really. We'd like for you to share the video if you can, please. Drop some comments for us. I like what Yvonne has said. She said, be the light. That's right. Be the light. Don't just tap out and go hide. Yeah. So we got 2 more tips for you. This next one is important. And y'all think that this is like cliche. I know, because I do as well, because people telling me this all the time. But yet it is so real, y'all. Slow the hell down.
Please do.
What is the purpose?
Please do.
Yeah. It's hard, though. It is hard, right? But guess what? I know it's not impossible. And to continue to reinforce how hard it is does not serve me, and it does not serve you. What's up, Stephanie? I see you, sis. Welcome, welcome. Look, Shawanda, I see you. Shawanda James just joined us. Look, the end of the year, the end of the year and this holiday time is an invitation for us to get centered, to reflect on what has happened for the last 11 months. Right? What do we want to happen in the future? It is an invitation for us to get centered and to not stay, in the same old, that's moving. Do this, do that. Do you want the next year to be the same? What about the next year? Do you want to be different in your home, in your relationship, inside of you? you will never figure it out. And you will not be able to be strategic about how you can do it differently if you do not slow down. Change does not come in a big, huge rush. Change is incremental. And it happens because people slow down and get centered and get very, very clear about what it is they're going to do or what it is they're not going to do. So I would ask you, even though it is kind of cliche, everybody says it, like real talk is actually what you have to do. Are you willing to slow down? For my note takers, write that question down for yourself. Are you willing? You might be like, yeah, but now you've been moving and shaking in a busybody for so long, you don't even know how to slow down. I've had many people tell me over time, it is uncomfortable to do nothing. Oh, yep, yeah. It's uncomfortable to get still. It's uncomfortable to really just, be like, all right, I'm gonna sit down with a blank piece of paper and let me just see, what am I trying to do next year? What am I trying to do next week? How can I do things differently? How can I be differently? How can I show up differently for my partner? What are the things that I have heard, not just from them, but from other people continually about myself or how I impact other people that I resist? What is it that I need to take away from that? You understand what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get none of that stuff, y'all, if we don't slow down. So slow down. If other people experience you as moving too quickly, let me tell you, then you're moving too quickly. If people don't really experience you that way, it doesn't mean that you don't in some way need to take time to slow down, because if you're not doing that individually, it's going to be very difficult for you all to do that as a partner, as partners. We talked about blocking out space for one another. But you have to allow space for perspective. Perspective doesn't come in the movement. Perspective comes when you sit down.
I like what Shawanda James said. She said, this reminds me of a quote my pastor said many years ago: waiting time is not wasted time.
Oh.
Waiting time is not wasted time.
Waiting time is not wasted
time. And that's so true, y'all. I think, Bruce, if you're still on here, raise your hand or wave or something like that. But Bruce shared with me a short time ago that he studies martial arts. And, I know when you study that particular discipline, one of the things that's lifted up is that it's important to breathe. It's really important to breathe. And when you slow down the breath, it increases your capacity to strike even stronger, even harder. And so, through the process of slowing down and creating that space where you actually give room for yourself to think, for yourself to actually shift, for yourself to plan, to strategize, to regroup, and really establish a place where you can actually step into this new year a lot stronger. It's a significant space that you need to actually recognize and sit in. And so when you allow yourself again to just sit still and be quiet and not do nothing, what you're doing is, excuse me, you're empowering yourself. You're empowering yourself to step off just a lot stronger. And if not a lot stronger, maybe even a little bit stronger, but you're empowering yourself to make a different move in a different direction and possibly come back or bounce back stronger. A lot of people say you need to finish strong. And so I agree with that in some sense, but as we come to the close of 2018, you want to make sure that finishing strong doesn't always mean movement.
It don't mean grind. You ain't got to grind all the time. It doesn't
necessarily mean that you need to be hustling all the way to the end. What it could mean is that you do hustle, but at the same time, too, you experience some meditative space, which enables you to hustle in a different way, but it's in a reflective way. And so in that reflection, again, you're preparing for what's to come in 2019, but you're sitting still and allowing yourself to enter into the space of silence, of quiet, so that you can still your mind and project what's going to take place in 2019. So don't minimize and don't underestimate the power of sitting still. There's power there, y'all. There's significant power in sitting still.
And when you don't take time, when you don't make time for sitting still, at some point you will be, I don't know if it's the right English, you will be sat down. You will be sat down. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like when you don't do it, then it's going to happen. It might happen in the form of a breakdown. It might happen in the form of you having some health issues that break you down. There being some type of a blow up between you and your partner, right? Like whatever it is, it will happen. It will come out because you haven't had or made the time to sit down, right? And to slow down. And I just have to keep it real. It's something that I constantly struggle with. In the doctor's office this morning, I went to the doctor's office this morning, and in the doctor's office, I started crying in the doctor's office, y'all. Crying in the doctor's office, talking about, all of the stress that I have to deal with on a regular basis. And for those who don't know, because I've said this at different times, I always have to pay attention to my blood pressure. Runs in my family, blood pressure issues. And so there are a lot of different ways to attack that thing, right? Exercise, how you eat, all of those kinds of things. But the one thing that I have heard many doctors, because I've dealt with more than just one or two, tell me when they analyze me is that you need to figure out how to decrease your stress. You are very stressed. And the results that we're seeing is coming from stress. So what will you do differently? And all of them, I ain't going, these are the regular old MDs. They like, can you get some yoga in your life? Can you take time out to take some of the things off of your plate? What can you do differently? And every time I'm like, I know, right? But I'm breaking down in the doctor's office this morning because my blood pressure was up. And I was like, what's going on? But I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't anticipating that. But I have been moving, trying to attack so many different things. And what came up for me is this is a part of my life's work with myself. How do I take care of myself? Knowing I got the family history I got, knowing that I tend to be a type person, right? And that's not going to work for me. It certainly won't work for my husband or my children if I'm not fully present and available physically and emotionally and mentally, right? So we have to understand that this is not just a nice thing to say and something that you can, every now and then you can get some time and slow down when you can, when you can afford to. You can't afford not to as an individual and as a couple. You cannot afford not to. The same way you prioritize everything else, prioritize slowing your ass down.
Yeah, I like when you say it, baby. Make time to sit down before you get sat down.
Before you get sat down.
That was real. That was real. All right. And so again, if you're just tuning in, what we're talking about is how to stay connected as a couple during the holidays. Please share if you have not already done so. And we thank y'all for tuning in. We got one more for you. And this gets back to what you just referenced, baby. You referenced doing your work. And so this fourth one is that it's really an inside job. It's really an inside job. So if you plan on staying connected as a couple during the holiday season, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right. Check your emotions, check your attitude, check your energy, check your actions. You want to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on internally and how you're showing up during this time of year. What I will say is in reference to what my wife just shared, I need to check myself when it comes to my response to what she just shared, because what I recognize is that it creates anxiety within me. It makes me afraid. And as a result, I become hypervigilant and I start to try to impose certain things on her, which is unfair to her. But I'm thinking about myself selfishly, and I'm also thinking about our children selfishly. But at the end of the day, what I need to recognize is that she's walking her own path. And it's hard to release. It's hard to release and let go. But the responsibility that rests on my shoulders is my own internal work to recognize that this is her journey. It's her journey. And so I'm her life partner. I'm her husband. I'm her baby and all of that. But it's her journey. And so we need to recognize that when it comes to you and your partner, that they're on their path. And so the thing that you need to focus on is you. Check your emotions, because during this time of year, again, you're going to experience stress. It's inevitable. It's a stressful experience, a stressful time of year.
It's a happy and joyful time of year too.
It actually is. But what do you do to manage? How do you manage that stress? So again, you want to make sure you're being in tune with your emotions and finding a way to self-soothe during this time. So whether it be watching the game, whether it be exercising, whether it be meditating, yoga, whatever it might be, getting a glass of wine every night, who knows? Whatever your thing is, you want to make sure
you gotta say every night.
Some people do. People do.
Brandon B, I thank you for that comment, my brother. Thank you on YouTube. Go ahead. Sir. I mean, you can read it. Okay. And so, it's really important that you find a way to self-soothe that's productive and not destructive. And recognize the fact that, again, it's an inside job that you need to pay attention to when it comes to you being present, you being emotionally available,
and then also you being emotionally intact and engaged during this time period.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're right and you're showing up a certain way. You're showing up correctly for your spouse and also for your family.
We all have particular ways that we show our stress and that we kind of deal. And so, have you ever talked to somebody and they're talking about, I got all of this going on and they want me to do this and I just don't know. And then, I'll tell my friend who I'm talking to, oh, well, then just don't do that. No, because then they won't, whatever, fill in the blank, because then this won't happen, whatever. Like, you don't have to do that. Do you know, is that your vulnerability? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you the one who complains about something, but then when you are offered an alternative that requires you to perhaps put a boundary or say no, or I'm going to tap out of that, whether it's at work or with your family or whatever, like, you ain't got to go to every single thing. You ain't got to run around on the holidays, on Christmas Day or whatever day, right? And be tired as a mug. At the end of the day, you exhausted because you don't have to do that, Mm-hmm. Well, no, because then, then my mother get mad and my aunt, but you don't have to do that though. So are you the person who's trying to be a people pleaser? If that's your particular vulnerability, then it's going to be, really pricked up even more during the holiday season, mm-hmm. right? If you are the angry person, I'm a recovering aggressaholic. So if you're the one who gets mad and all your stress comes out and being angry, your stuff you're gonna be a little more edgy if you're not very careful to make sure that you slow down, to make sure that you're paying attention to the fact that your work is with you. You have to make sure that you pay attention to how you show up and that you don't throw up your stuff on other people. Okay, so y'all, the holidays can be a good time. We're talking about the holidays, but really it's about the end of the year. The end of the year is coming. It'll be here before you know it. Before you know it, it will be here, and it will be 2019. You will be into a whole new year with brand new possibilities for yourself and for your partner. You can move through this time stressed and harried and frustrated and upset, or perhaps moving and happy and laughing, and then find out I'm just so exhausted. I ain't taking care of myself. I done made it merry for everybody else except for me. Right? You can do all of that, or you can do things differently. And so we're challenging you during this time of year to really be intentional, to end strong, like my husband said, so that you can start strong and you can do it like you really want to do it next year. If you cannot do that during this time of year, it's going to be difficult for you when you start 2019. Mm-hmm. Y'all, we hope that this has been of help to you. Remember, block out the white space. Schedule some do nothing days with your boo. Remember to tune into the moments. You can't tune into a moment that you're not aware of. Look for the moments. Don't just be oblivious. Pay attention. Pay attention to the moments that are being presented for you to connect in with your boo. A wink, a smile. Take a risk. Do something different. You understand what I'm saying? Slow down. Sit your ass down before you get sat down. And then remember, it's an inside job. Nobody is here to rescue you. You must do it for yourself. Whatever your vulnerability is, you are responsible for it. And whoever has the most insight is required to use it. So it might be you. Don't be mad about it, or get mad and then get over it and get to work. We hope that this has been helpful. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.